Welcome to Animal Headlines News. In the south of France, near the city of Cannes, there is a famous marine park called Marineland Antibes. But the park has been shut down for nearly 5 months now since January 5, 2025, and 2 orcas, a mother and her young son, remain trapped in the park's substandard facilities. What's really happening here? Is this just another case of greedy corporations exploiting animals for profit? Well, it depends on who you ask. The park management claims that they have done everything they can to ensure the well-being of their animals. But animal rights groups say that the situation is dire and that the French government is ultimately responsible for ensuring the safety of these creatures. So what's the truth? A strong smell of chlorine and decay could be smelled at the scene. The orcas can be heard screaming in pain. What we saw there was shocking. The orcas were listless and floating near the surface of their tank, seemingly unaware of our presence. Their skin was gray and their eyes were dull. They had lost all hope. But it gets worse. In addition to the orcas, there are also 12 dolphins confined in the same facility. They too are suffering from depression and a lack of stimulation. The park's water tanks are now filled with algae and maintenance has ceased since the closure. Infrastructure is visibly decaying and poses a serious risk to the health and safety of both the animals and humans. A drone footage published by Tidebreakers, an animal welfare group, revealed murky, unhealthy water and orcas who appear lethargic and weak. The footage went viral, sparking global outrage and prompting calls for urgent action to be taken. In 2021, France passed the Animal Welfare Act, which bans marine mammal performances. The law requires all captive marine mammals in France to be phased out by 2026. Marineland Antibes was one of the country's largest marine parks. Its closure came as a shock to many, but it should not have been a surprise. For years, the park had been bleeding money due to a sharp drop in visitors. By 2023, it was clear that the park could no longer afford to keep its doors open. But the real problem is what happens to the animals now. They cannot be released into the wild. Years of captivity have made them dependent on human care. Despite several attempts, relocation efforts have repeatedly failed. Japan was considered but was rejected by France, due to ethical concerns about the orcas' welfare during transport and the possibility of them being used for breeding purposes in Japan. Spain also declined relocation to Loro Park, citing a lack of space. However, Canada's whale sanctuary project offered a sea-based alternative. Located in Nova Scotia, Canada, the sanctuary offers a 100-hectare protected ocean enclosure where the whales can swim freely. The project was praised as innovative by French officials. But despite its seemingly perfect conditions, the sanctuary rejected the orcas because of the long transport distance. Plus, the project is still under construction. The French government insists that the park must continue to provide care for the animals until a suitable alternative can be found. But Marineland claims that they cannot meet the orcas' basic needs and urges for their immediate relocation. Experts fear that the orcas could die from disease and infections caused by the poor water quality. Tidebreakers warn that if no action is taken, the orcas could be euthanized. Animal activists are calling for urgent international intervention to save the whales. Public pressure on France is mounting rapidly, and marine sanctuaries are seen as the best long-term solution. Marine sanctuaries allow animals to live in semi-natural conditions and receive specialized care while still being able to swim vast distances. The annual cost for such sanctuaries is estimated at $2.20 to $3.3 million. There are no permanent marine sanctuaries in France or Europe, but there are several in the United States and one in Canada. Orcas can live 40 to 60 years or more. But the current conditions mean that Wikie and Keijo may not live to see their 30s. Marine parks are illegal in France, but the government has yet to come up with a viable solution for relocating captive orcas. Now the world is waiting to see what France will do next. But this case exposes the gap between law and implementation. Finally, if you like the video, remember to like, subscribe, and share.